Welcome back to the 19th hole for Keith Flemming. I'm Jake Parry. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We're going to recap the Open Championship and look forward to this weekend's 3M Open. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to the IBT Golf family. The IBT Golf family is our free to join way to get access to our chats, enter into our memorabilia giveaways, and enter into things such as our PGA One and Done contest. That's all free of charge. But for $3.99 a month or $36 for the year, you get exclusive access to our weekly betting model, as well as our full golf betting cards and picks and everything, all of the fun that goes into that. We're up over 150 units on the year, so doing very, very well so far and looking to keep that growing through the end of the 2026 season. But if golf isn't necessarily your thing, but you're a fan of football, you're a fan of NASCAR, F1, truck racing, you're a fan of entertainment betting, we've got a family for everybody, and it's all included in that price. So if you're interested in joining, head on over to in-betweenmedia.com/chat or check out the link in the episode description. But with that being said, Keith, what do you say we figure out what the Fox says?
Well done.
Thank you. The Fox says, I've won the Open Championship. Ryan Fox victorious in the 2026 Open Championship with a score of 10 under par, finishing just ahead of Cam Young, who set the tone early in the day and then just had to go sit and watch in the scorer's room, hanging out in the clubhouse. He had hours to kill while he waited for Ryan Fox to just carry the biggest cojones on that golf course with a wheelbarrow and just walk him down and have a spectacular finish to secure his win. He's, he was not somebody that I think most of us expected to win. And I think on top of that as well, I don't think we expected the way that he won. Like Ryan Fox, when we think about him, this is a dude who is full send on his swings. He swings hard. He swings his swing. It's weird. I don't know how he gets in the position that he does. His left foot is basically pointing at the target because he's got a bad ankle. And we know him as he's a bomber. He hits it far. He's pretty good with the irons, pretty accurate player overall. But the man gained nearly 9 strokes with the putter. And that is what won him this tournament. When you look at everybody else in the entire tournament, he was over a half stroke better per round than any other player in the field. He was pretty bad, honestly, around the greens. He lost about a half stroke every day there, gained about a half stroke on approach, and was solid, yet not crazy off the tee, which, there were some players who had some absurd rounds off of the tee. Rory had over 10 strokes gained off the tee this week. He now owns 3 of the top 5 driving performances in terms of strokes gained ever. But the rest of Rory's game wasn't cooperating. And I think that's the thing for Fox is, even with the short game not being great, he never put himself in terrible positions with it. And as hot as the putter was, it clearly didn't matter where the short game ended up.
It was one of the more impressive performances I can remember. And I took it personally because a lot of people were out there, bummed and disappointed. I'm like, this guy just shot 62 on Saturday, which, by the way, that was the 3rd person to tie the all-time major round low just from this event. And it's why I owe Kevin Kisner an apology, because early on the telecast Sunday, he goes, I think the winner is going to be 10 under. And I went, dude, we've had 3 people shoot 62. The lead's at 10 under, and there's that many people at like 6, 7. Get the F out of here. You're a moron. Well, not only was he right, he called it on the freaking number.
Yep.
But it was the way Fox did it. Anybody who has played golf or watched golf for a long time knows there is nothing harder then following up a sizzling round. And I would say tying the major championship record definitely qualifies as a sizzling round. And guess what? He did. Because not only is it a lot of pressure to follow up that round, how about, hey, it's Sunday at a major, and I'm now 2 shots back of winning a tournament that honestly he went into the weekend thinking he had no chance to win. None. I mean, that's just human nature. He was so far back.
Go
ahead.
Like when you think about like you mentioned, it's so hard to follow that up. And even if you do follow it up, if you do it early in the week, you have to do it again. Like Sam Burns goes 62, follows that up with a 65. So not a bad round by any means.
The 2 lowest rounds back to back in major history.
Yeah. And then 72, in contention clearly, but not playing to the level that he needed to. We saw Lucas Herbert 62 and then go 71. And, that was clear. The 62 was the anomaly. But I think that is what makes links golf so special is you can have a round where that low ball flight that you need to cut through the wind is working for you. You're getting the right rolls. Like I saw a graphic today. It was on 18, I believe. And Ryan Fox hit a cut that landed 282 yards and did not end up in the bunker. And Cam Young hit one that went 292 yards, landed in almost the same spot and ended up in the bunker. It's just like, that is the breaks that you can. Man. Like people were dogging on Matt Fitzpatrick on Twitter for saying like, I thought I hit some good shots and I didn't have any luck on my side. And people were like dogging on him for some reason for saying that. But like, that just shows me that you haven't played a lot of links golf if you're going to get mad at a guy for saying that. Cause that's what the game is. Like I've had rounds where I've hit some of the best drives of my life into water that I didn't know existed. It's a ball that carries 340 yards, some absurd number. And there was a cart path at that point cutting across the fairway. And because it landed with draw spin, it just kept shooting left. And it's like, that is the golf is kind of the epitome of like, a lot of it is luck. It's a game where nature impacts 99%, not that much.
I look at it like poker, right? That like they're 2 games of, you have to have a lot of skill to be a top ranked player in either one of them, but you also need a lot of luck. Cause at the end of the day,
you get dealt what you get dealt.
You get dealt with exactly. You literally read my mind. I was about to say, I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. And that's exactly how golf is.
Kenny Rogers said it. You got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them.
Amen,
but
brother.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Ryan Fox. He is I think he's the only, like one of 2 major winners in the last, I think it's 15 years that was ranked outside the top 50 in the official world golf ranking when they won. He might've been just inside and I might be misremembering the stat.
He birdied 4 of the final 6 holes after being 1 under through 11, which that cannot be understated because he put himself in a position where he thought it was over because Burns actually got, Siwoo got to 11 under for a split second. And I think Burns did as well on that back 9. Yep. He's 4 back, but he just kept grinding. He makes that birdie on the 14th. And then I'm not going to give anybody grief for bogeying a 240-yard par 3, which that was made on the back 9. Then he birdies 16, has a gut-wrenching miss on 17 because he should have birdied that hole. Like, straight up. That was one of the worst putts he hit all week. And then to come back on a 500 freaking yard par 4 that 4 people all day had birdie, but you're playing it to win your first major. He does. It's remarkable stuff. And it's not just that it was his first major win. Guys, it was his first top 10 in a major. Yep. He played 28 majors. He had 6 top 25s, no top 10s. And when he needed it, he freaking got it done. When Scottie Scheffler couldn't, when Bryson DeChambeau, all these top players in the world crumbled on a course that they were eaten alive. And Ryan Fox, he lived up to it. And that's why I love golf, man. Is like sometimes it's just who has got the will to win. And Fox was the only guy. It felt like the only guy. If you watch that telecast,
he's the only guy who wanted to win.
Yeah.
Besides Cam Young, obviously playing earlier in the day, like he was playing to win that event. He played a great round. Foxy, clearly though, he knew what he needed to do on that back stretch and just.
You think Cam thought he had to make birdie there from that fairway bunker? Because I think he did at that
I
point.
think
You know,
I think so. Yeah. I think you kind of knew you had to get to 10. Like if you get to 10, you feel like you have a great shot of winning. And especially if you're a guy who is playing and has an earlier tee time, is going off earlier in the day.
But that's what I mean, was he was at 10 and hitting that lip, right? Like
Right.
knocked him back down to 9. And I just wonder, you know, I'm sure he felt like an
Yeah.
idiot as they got close going, oh my God, if I'd have played that safe and got it up and down, I'd definitely be in the playoff, right? Like once he missed on 17, and it just, that's a, you know, I hate it because I love Cam. He's going to win a major. I think he's going to win multiple majors. He's going to be fine.
He's got the
but
game too, for sure.
he is getting, you know, some heartache, man, early in that career. And that was a brutal one to wait around 2 hours after just playing the best round to just on the 18th. The guy just missed an easier putt.
Yep.
And then he buries that one.
Yeah. And you know, the other reason I love seeing Foxy win is he's not what we get a ton on the PGA Tour, right? Like this is a guy who grew up playing rugby. He grew up playing cricket, didn't pick up a golf club until he was 13, didn't turn pro until he was 25. You've got guys like Tom Kim who are on tour. You've got, you know, who won multiple times. You got guys like Jordan Spieth who won 3 majors before they were the age that Ryan Fox turned pro. And Ryan Fox is a guy he's the epitome of like, he earned every bit of being on the PGA Tour. Like this is a guy who played through the Challenge Tour, the PGA Tour of Australasia. He's got an Asian tour win, European. Like this is a guy who has played just about every tour on this planet.
Worked his way to the tour is what he had to do.
Exactly. And he's, you know, he got here and he proved his spot. You know, he had 2 wins last year. He gets the win this year. You know, honestly, it would have been fun to see him get into a playoff and see if he could have gone 3 for 3 in playoffs.
And him and Cam in a playoff was going to be fun. Like it really was. Like those two guys both are extremely quick, hit the ball very far, and just are easy guys to root for.
Yeah, it was great to see. And, you know, we're going to keep talking about an Open. It's just going to be the 3M Open this time. It's not the Open Championship, but one last congratulations to Ryan Fox. Very happy to see you win, sir. But with that said, let's get these caddy notes going and start breaking down TPC Twin Cities. TPC Twin Cities is the host of the 3M Open. After a couple weeks of link style courses, hybrid links courses, we get Parkland Golf back again in the United States. Located in Blaine, Minnesota. This is, of course, very local to our third host over here, Mike. I wanted him here just to talk about this beautiful course, but you know we'll try and do it justice for you, Mike. But playing it apart, 71, just over 7,400 yards. It's an Arnold Palmer design, redesigned in 2018, just before it became a course on the tour and took over as the hosting site of the 3M Open. It has 72 bunkers throughout, 13 holes with water danger, which is the third most on the PGA Tour. In fact, I think there's 27 bodies of water on the course. So very much a risk reward type of venue. This is a course that's ranks among the easiest to make birdie on, but also among the easiest to make double bogey or worse on. So again, just very much a risk reward course. The fairways are plenty wide. The greens are plenty large, bent grass kind of throughout, except for bluegrass fescue rough. But it's a relatively straightforward course in the sense of you have a safe shot or you have a shot that you probably can make. But if you don't make it, hope you can recover from triple.
Good luck. It's an interesting venue, man. It really is. Especially just because these guys have been playing links golf. They've been hitting so many wedges and short irons into the green. That's not going to be the case this week. I think it's like 48% of the approaches are going to come from 175 plus yards. But to your point, 13 holes play under par. There is plenty of scoring opportunities at this venue. You've got to eat up the 3 par 5s. They don't have the 4. They have that additional, par 4.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 par 5s, all 550 to 600 yards. So anybody with distance, they can reach every one of them with no problem. So the par 5s are going to be a huge deal this week. But
even more so than that, there's like a 3-yard discrepancy on the par 5s.
Is it
like
really?
If they play like full distance on them, it's like 590. I think it's 595, 596, 598. Like
I'm not getting there no matter what it is, Jake. So, but
depends how much roll I'm getting. Is it dry?
Right? You got to take advantage of those holes because the 5 that play over par are very difficult. The 4 par 4s that are 450 plus yards, all monster par 4s that truly, again, because of the trouble off the tee, and again, this is of course with no rough. So, I mean, Jake's not exaggerating. There's water freaking everywhere. So you want guys that are like, it's okay to miss it. You just got to know where to miss it and not have the big miss. And then that par 3, that's like 220 yards, which is also just one of the toughest par 3s on tour. So I'm looking at guys that really excel at approach. I understand if your big stat this week was, some kind of total driving, strokes gained off the tee, driving distance combo, that makes a lot of sense. But if you look at the recent, in the 6 years they've been there, top 30 in strokes gained approach for the week, every single one of the winners, 4 of the 6 have been top 15, and 3 of the 6 have been top 4. So they were literally the best iron players in the field. And the other thing to pay attention to is guys that don't putt well having monster putting weeks on these greens. Yes, they're massive, but apparently they're very easy to putt, which you can't convince me. That's got to be why Scottie Scheffler's there. I don't know why in the world else he would be there. Like I thought, I was like, there's no way this is right. Scheffler is by far the best player in the field. And he's there. I need him to like blink twice during the round Thursday to let me know he is not being held prisoner, captive or something. What is he doing there, Jake?
Yeah, I don't know. Last year, I looked at my article from last year when I was prepping for this week, and Jacob Bridgman was the highest ranked player in the field last year. And it's like the drop off after Scottie is like it's Scottie and then Hideki, who's only 30th in the world right now. That was, I'm not going to say, like, not going to lie, was a little surprising to see. I know Hideki hasn't been phenomenal this year. But yeah, it's an interesting field, and it's making, like, we're going to talk about some interesting names this week. And, I have interesting DFS recommendations. It's not a week where you can just go, all right, there's like 6 dudes here I'm confident in. You're like, all right, if I don't want to, like, for DFS, if I don't want to pay $5,000 more for Scottie, what do I do? Where do I go? Help me.
And if you put Scott in your lineup, good luck, because you're going to have to then play. He's $14,000. The next most expensive guy is $9,800. It's like falling off a cliff. But we've seen guys have huge spike putting weeks. Tony Finau, Jonathan Vegas, Cameron Champ, which if you have watched Cam Champ putt anywhere, he gained almost 9 shots here. I believe when he won in 2021.
If you look at every winner here, it's a list of Team No Putt. It's Kurt Kitayama, Johnny Vegas, Lee Hodges.
Grillo's got a great record here.
Finau, Cam Champ, Michael Thompson, and Matt Wolff. Like, it's the leaders of Team No Putt. And it's one of these weird courses too, where like you bring up the driving side of things, and if you look at historical data, driving accuracy has played a larger impact in correlation to strokes gain than driving distance has. Every single year.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
But every guy who wins here is a bomber who hits it far. Like it's one of those weeks where, like, I think because the fairways are wide, it does help that average accuracy number get a little bit higher. It's not drastically higher, but part of it too is, while accuracy and keeping it in the fairway as opposed to in the water or in the rough, I think that naturally gets a premium there. But this is a very angular course. Like, there's a lot of times where it's better to be a foot off the rough or a yard off the rough than it is to be dead center in the fairway. Just for
the
your
angles you're talking about, right? Yeah.
And you, like you said, you need to have a guy who has the spike approach weeks. Like, I think last year is actually a great example of, while approach is extremely important. Where the play off the tee also plays a really big factor at this venue. If you compare winner Kurt Kitayama to Wyndham Clark, who came in 12th place, nearly identical strokes gained putting, nearly identical strokes gained around the green, nearly identical strokes gained approach, but Kitayama gained almost 2 yards off the tee and Wyndham lost 4. Like that was the separating factor between the two players. And so this is again, that just is the nature of a water hazard heavy course. Is if things aren't going in your favor, if you're not hitting the driver where you want it to go, you're in trouble. If you're having a great day with it, you're going to be fine. You can recover some with the irons, like a T12 here, 17 under par. It's not like Wyndham played terribly. His driver just wasn't cooperating. And when you can have a day like, a week like that, where, you can survive without your driver and still top 12 in a tournament, you feel really good. But this is an event that we're going to see, like, there's never been a repeat winner here. So it's very likely that we're going to see a new winner yet again. If we don't see a new winner yet again, I'd argue there's one guy in form to repeat as a winner in Kitayama. He's the only guy of any confidence in. Only Johnny Vegas. Johnny Vegas is the only previous winner of this event who's still on the PGA Tour who is not in this event. So no Michael Thompson, no Matt Wolff, but we get Cam Champ, we get Finau, Lee Hodges. And
yeah,
Kitayama.
Liv has like obliterated this field. If you look at the guys that played in this year after like Bryson, like there were all the big guys on Liv played in this, but obviously that's not happening now.
Yeah. But, that's a pretty good breakdown. I think, you said kind of what you're looking for here, leaning more on the accuracy. I'm very heavy on accuracy as well. Scoring, double bogey avoidance, par 5 scoring, distance from edge of fairway. That's probably the thing that is elevating driving in my model a little bit. Is I'm including strokes gained off the tee, good drive percentage, and distance from edge of fairway. Because like I said, there's almost an advantage to not being the most accurate guy off the tee. If you're fairly accurate, these are 35-yard wide fairways. Like, you can hit these fairways even if you don't hit a perfect shot. But
did you see Scheffler shooting like 32, 33 under here? Because everything that we're describing is Scottie Scheffler, who is one of the best guys in strokes gained off the tee and forever on tour. He needs a spike putting week, right? Like, it's just like a lot of stuff could come up, man.
I mentioned in my DFS article this week, I feel like Scottie is here because Scottie is like, I need to remember what it's like to win a golf tournament. Is he going to do it? I don't know. Let's find out. Get these clubs twirling and start breaking down the book. Looking at the book this week, zero surprise to anybody who's heard Keith and I open our mouth at this point in the episode. Scottie Scheffler is the betting favorite, going off at plus 260, 265, depending on the
you can't
book.
get him at least 260 some places. Both the places I look, and I don't do like you do, 250. I'm like, oh my God, that's disgusting.
Yeah. DraftKings and FanDuel, you can get him 260 and 265 respectively. And then after that, it's a pretty steep jump. You get, Kurt Kitayama up next. DraftKings has him 22.5 to 1, FanDuel 25 to 1, but the odds get very long, very fast. And that's what's going to happen when you're in an event where there's a clear favorite in the number one player in the world being in the event, and everybody else in the field is not the number one player in the world.
Do you feel Kitayama, though, is the clear second favorite in the field? Because the more I think about it, his odds may not be that bad. Like, I know it kind of sucks to see him at like 22 to 1 and then everybody else, is in the 30s, but he's playing well. This course fits him so well. He's the defending champ. I think he finished like 6th the only other time he played here. Yeah,
he went T6 and then won. He, has a handful of top 20s this year, handful of top 10s on top of that. Last few events have been pretty solid overall. He is my second favorite. I elected not to talk about him in the episode just because I'm gonna throw a unit on him.
I was curious, and I'm right now. I'm fading you, following whatever you say with how hot you've been this year in outrights and how I can't find one. So I wanted to make sure before I made that mistake.
Yeah, I think especially with the fact that over on FanDuel, this is like very recent. This updated at 6 o'clock Central Time. He went back down to 2,500 from 2,200. So 25-1. I certainly like that number. I'm going to be in there. But, kind of past him, obviously, it's a question mark, right? Like we only get like 15 names down the list before we're in the 50-1 territory.
Yep.
And then we go about 30 more names down the list, and then everybody else is 100-1 or worse. If you think Jeremy Paul can win this week, more power to you. You can get 1,600-1 if you're really feeling dangerous like that. But for those of us who aren't feeling dangerous, Keith, you and I are both looking to start our card kind of in the same place. Jackson Koivun going 36-1 on DraftKings. I believe that is updated. Let me actually make sure that is accurate. Yep, 36-1 over on DraftKings. But young star, young guy in the making, miscut at the John Deere, just a horrid performance on the greens, but a solid bounce back at the ISCO, coming off just prior to that too, a top 25 finish at the US Open. Yeah,
a lot of pressure at the John Deere, right? Like everybody and their grandmama was talking about this.
We all picked him to win.
Yeah,
we all had an outright play on him.
I don't even bat an eye at that performance. And what to me is more important is what we've been talking about. Unbelievable driver of the golf ball, unbelievable putter. And yeah, like the irons are real. I mean, he doesn't really have a weakness to his game, but I'm saying that on this kind of course, I could see him doing it. And how cool would it be now? Because he'd get to beat the world #1 potentially.
Right.
And doing so. And I believe in the talent. We're not going to have Koivun for 36-1 for very long. I'm going to take my shots as long as he's like, if he's 30-1 until I see something different, I'm not going to bat an eye. I'm just going to bet it.
Yeah. It's like I think him past 30-1 right now is very much where in the territory where Colin Morikawa started the year for me, where it's like, if I see Colin pass like 50-1, I'm just clicking on it. Koivun is a superstar in the making. Obviously that comes with a lot of pressure, right? Like we've seen Luke Clanton kind of struggle to bounce back, or ascend to the PGA Tour is probably the right way to put it. But he's also going through some health stuff and going, not really health stuff. He put on weight to, kind of have his body last the length of a PGA Tour season, and is reworking his swing.
Gordon Sargent, who had a lot of buzz, kind of flame out, David Ford. But I think he's different, don't you? Like, I think this is a whole nother level of prospect.
Yeah. The kid's got a killer mentality that not many players on a golf course have. Like this is a football player in a golfer to a T. Like just the mentality that he has. He's going to go out there and he's going to show you he belongs on the PGA Tour. He already has shown us that. And I think it's just going to continue. So felt zero reason not to tell you there. We also know how much I love this next guy, elite first name haver, Jake Knapp. You can get him 40-1 over on DraftKings. I'm still holding my breath a little bit since the return from injury. But he does have a T3 here in his one completed tournament. He withdrew in 2024 from the event. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy who started the year with 5 straight top 11 finishes, missed the cut at the Players after, like, the best putting performance of his life and just still somehow missed the cut. Followed that up with a T6 at the Houston Open, 11th at the Masters, and then gets hurt. And he just, he's working back from the injury. That said, we're seeing different parts of the game kind of get together. And I think, especially with the way he swings the club, it's very timing heavy. And, naturally when you're not playing, it's a wrist injury. It's not like you can even pretend really, it probably hurt to even feign hold a club at that point. And so when you're getting your timing back, it's going to take some bounce back. But I mean, we know how much I love Jake Knapp. We know how good he was to start the year off. And I think he gets that form sooner rather than later. Is that kind of the route you're taking with this play here?
Yeah. And it's also, this is really, I feel like the first chance we get to see where his game's at, because in fairness to him, one of them's the US Open, which with what he was dealing with of the 4 starts he's made since he came back, like, come on, man. I couldn't imagine how scared he was every time he went in the rough, having to take a swing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go over and play. That's a completely different kind of golf in the Scottish Open and Open Championship. So he's back now in the U.S. This is a traditional, like it's American of a, PGA tournament venue as you're going to get. He's got success here. He's had success at other TPC courses. Like I just think that 40-1, Scheffler's more talented. Koivun probably more talented. That's it. And you're getting them 40-1 in this week of a field. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, if Jake Knapp was healthy throughout this whole season and never took any time
15-1, 20-1,
12,
maybe lower.
Like probably close. I think it's closer to kind of the disparity we saw last week between Scottie and Rory, where Scottie's not necessarily 3-1. He's more like 5, 6-1, and then Knapp is probably in there at like 12 to 13, 14-ish. I think that's probably where it would settle. But yeah, I think if the man is playing the golf he was playing earlier this year, he could easily win this tournament. Yeah. And the thing that gives me hope is the driver miss was like he lost 25% accuracy to the field at the US Open.
Yeah.
You're not going to win a golf tournament. You're not going to make a cut if you're doing that. Over the last 2 weeks, basically back to kind of his norms, like losing a percentage or two at the Scottish Open and then slightly below that at the Open. But he actually lost distance comparatively off the tee as well. I think he was just pulling a lot less than driver frequently. But
he hit that, like, what is it, the mini driver or 3-wood that he's got? I bet he hit it a lot the last 2 weeks, and that's not going to be the case this week.
Yeah, definitely not. But continuing the trend of people with J names who also have a K in there somewhere. Jackson Suber going off 45-1. This was another play. I'm right with you on it here. Where did Suber kind of work out for you? Like, what is it about the game that's giving you some interest here?
He's playing the best golf, I think, of anybody in this field, which is scary to say. I mean, obviously, I know Scheffler, but if you watch Scheffler's putting, man, at the Open, as somebody who's defended his putting and just like who Scheffler is as a competitor and everything, it really did rock my opinion because he got frustrated. I think he took himself out of the tournament because, I mean, he was fake fist pumping, like missed putts on Friday.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that many shots out. That's what made Tiger so great was he would stay in those tournaments. Like he would be frustrated, but he wouldn't let it get to him where I think it cost him a couple of strokes. Meanwhile, Suber, just no matter where he goes lately, playing incredible golf. There's almost nobody on the planet better with their irons right now. And that's obviously, I told you, a big deal for me this week. And I think that he's going to win soon. Like he keeps knocking at the door and being around. And I'm just really encouraged by what I've seen. This kid's a big talent, man. Like it's going to be scary if he figures it out because he hits it plenty far. Obviously can, just throw lasers in there from the fairway. And like, I've seen him have some really good putting performances under pressure, which is almost more important than just being able to putt in general.
Yeah. The putter's been great recently. Really every part of the game has been really solid. The driver accuracy wise has not been the best. That said, it's like hovering around just whatever the average accuracy is for the event. It's not like he's playing poorly with it. And we saw what can happen when the guy puts it together, right? Like we're talking about the Thursday leader of the Open. He didn't play as well the rest of the event, but I mean, T30
hung around, man.
T30 in one of your first majors that you're really competing in, like truly competing in. It was a very good performance. The guy's got multiple top fives this year, had a great performance at John Deere Classic as well. So
that's one of your big comp courses, right? It's TPC Tour. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of TPC courses.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly.
Right. Yeah. Like pretty much anything. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of TPC courses. And then hold on. I've also got like Detroit Golf Club, PGA National, the stadium, Pete Dye Stadium course. And that's it. The rest are TPC courses. So again, no major surprise there. It's a TPC course. It's going to play like a TPC course. Next up after him, you're in on Sam Stevens this week. You can get Stevens at 57-1. I'm actually curious. I don't remember seeing Stevens in my model on a quick peruse. So where did he end up for me? I've got him 48th. So, you know, above average for sure. Nothing about his model really like peaks for me in terms of, you know, I did a lot off the last 30 rounds. Accurate with the driver for sure. Pretty good iron play from 150 to 200. Good driving overall. Pretty decent scoring numbers. But what was it about the profile that kind of popped for you a little bit?
This is going to sound like a hater, but again, these bad putters come here and they get hot. And like I've watched this guy play all summer and play well, but his putter has just not allowed him to kind of get that foot through the door. And if there's any venue that someone like Sam Stevens, who is, you know, a classic ball striker, right? Plays par fives well. This is it. And the fact that he finished runner-up here last year and has another top 10 2 years ago, he's got to putt fairly decent here. And I obviously he likes his venue. Now, he missed a cut in the other start, which, you know, like a little less variance than that, but 2 top 10s and 3, you know, appearances. And when he was playing his best golf, which was last year, a runner-up, why not Sam Stevens get hot with the putter? We'll just add him to the list of the no putt, you know, winners here since it started in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, he gained almost 8 strokes with the putter last year. So, I mean, he's certainly got it. And if he's feeling that confident on the greens, like you said, just like a classic swinger of the golf club who just kind of struggles with some of the other parts of the game. But when it gets together, I mean, guys got it top 5 this year. He was 7th at the US Open, you know, just a few weeks ago. So certainly wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Going off of a guy Mike and I were in on last week at the Open, for better or for worse. He made the cut. So DFS wise, if you bet that, it worked out for us here. But Johnny Keefer, 59-1 on DraftKings. And again, we're just kind of Keefer is my Sam Stevens. Yep. This is a ball striker, good hitter of the driver, who is the, you know, one of the leaders, one of the key contenders for the captain of Team No Putt. Like a guy who has lost.
That's got to be one of our mids, by the way, is we've got to make a captain, or I mean, a team of, you know, no putt with a
team
captain.
No Putt.
Yep.
Trap Team No Putt. But a good performance just a couple weeks ago at the Scottish Open, T3 there. It's his debut at this course, which is, you know, more concerning that he hasn't seen it. But this is also a venue where going back, 3 of the winners here were first time they ever played the event. And
a lot of got Sam Stevens finished. We just talked about finished 10th first time playing here. Like Max Homa finished, I think, 2nd or 3rd first time he played here. Like it's not that unusual for people to come out and just, to your point, even win the event.
It's not uncommon for a player to get randomly hot here. Like the correlation at this course, like a lot of the times correlation for the courses, we look at it as a players who are bad here are bad here. Players who are good here are good here. Players who are bad here can randomly get really hot, like a Lee Hodges who won and then missed the cut the next 2 times he played the venue. Or you can have a guy who wins his first time out here. Like it's that type of course. And that's just the nature of a very risk reward heavy course, right? Like if you have a good week of ball striking, if you are good off the tee, you are going to put yourself in situations where you can win. And I'm more happy to take risks on ball strikers who are Team No Putt than I am to take a shot on an elite putter who may struggle to keep it in play off the tee or even just put himself in scoring positions.
The profile of the winner is too similar from year 1 to now to like 100% agree. Like that was all my picks. Like there's one guy we're going to talk about that's not like elite in distance, but it's just that's been what we've had. Like all these guys have been able to mash it. Bryson almost won this event and probably the best version of it, you know, and got wolfed on the 18th hole.
Speaking of guys who can absolutely mash it and are elite in the distance category, I'm going Gary Woodland, 63-1. And this is truly just a field play for me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to give you a bunch of stats to back it up like I usually do on these plays. This is one of those times where I'm scrolling the odds boards and I just go, I like that. And then I look at his profile after that. Not bad. He's 18th in my model. Obviously, a phenomenal driver of the golf ball. The iron play has been pretty solid of late. The putter has historically been good on bent grass greens. His recent form has sucked. I'll just be honest. He, missed the cut at the Open. Somehow lost like 4 strokes around the green while playing 2 rounds of golf. Impressive. Not a great performance at the Travelers. Lost 8 strokes with the putter over the course of that event. But we're talking about a guy who has a win on tour this year, has multiple top 20 finishes at this event, a guy who has he's got a top 10 finish at a major this year. And we know what we're going to get out of Gary Woodland. He's going to hit the driver a mile. It's going to go pretty straight. Distance from edge of fairway wise, he's just above field average. Accuracy wise, just above field average. Total driving, well above field average just because of the distance gains that he gets on a lot of players. But I think it's far more likely that a guy like Woodland, again, kind of what we've been talking about, gets hot with the putter at the right time here. We've seen him get hot. He got hot with the putter at the Houston Open when he won and gained 8 strokes on the greens. He's the guy. He's the type of player who can do that. And he's contended without ever even putting well here.
I didn't know he was in the 60-1 range. Like, I think that's pretty good value too, because whatever, again, this field is trash. I mean, if we're just being honest, like in the strength of player, Gary Woodland should not be 60-1 in this field. Like, to me, that's pretty surprising on a course that fits his game.
He's one of like 6 dudes in the field who has won a PGA Tour event this year. One of those guys is Brandt Snedeker, who you're never picking to win here.
If he wins, oh my God. Remember we talked about how shocking it was that he won?
Yeah, the fact that he won when he did, but like the winners on tour this year that are in this event are Scottie, Tom Kim, Woodland, Mazzoli, who just won in Punta Cana last week. Like, that's basically it. And then Snedeker, like, who cares? There's not a lot of winners here. And one of the winners that we get is 63-1. Yeah. I saw the number and I said,
like, he's a different caliber player. So I like this call. I did not know his odds were that high.
Neither did I. And I saw it and clicked it and put money on it. A play that you had on your card, I also very much like him. He's one of my anchors for DFS this week, honestly.
Oh yeah, 7,300. Sign me up.
Yeah, Emiliano Grillo, 100-1. The dude just top 20s here, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's not a lot of argument that you really have to make here. Like, it doesn't matter either. Like, yeah, he's kind of sucked this year. He's actually playing pretty decent, like for him, especially over the last 3 weeks, 3 straight top 26 finishes. The putter's been good. And then you look at his history at the 3M Open and he's T3'd and then he missed the cut and then T2, T10, T24, T20. Like, the guy just plays well here. This is a course that fits his game, which is funny because he fits like the statistical profile of this golf course, right? Like, accurate, not that long off the tee, pretty solid putter, pretty solid ball striker when things go right. If they don't go right, like, again, I was making fun of Gary Woodland for losing 4 strokes chipping and over 2 rounds. And that's something that Grillo regularly does with the putter in 2 rounds and misses the cut. But the recent form is solid. The number is fun. And again, this is one where, like, even if you don't sprinkle like a quarter unit, 0.1 unit even on the outright call, like, this is a guy who's paying, 3.5 to 1 to top 20. You think he can top 10, something he's done
9 to 1 to top 10. Come on, man.
Like, you're clicking that when you see it. A guy with this history here, again, it's not the most correlative course, but the guys who consistently play well here tend to keep playing well here. That's where the correlation comes into play. So, yeah,
3 top 10s and 6 starts here, and you're getting 9 to 1. Like, that's significant. And also, he does this throughout his career where he really ebbs and flows. And the beginning of the season was terrible. I mean, I think he made the cut on like 5 out of his first 12 events, didn't have a top 40 finish. The fact that he's had 5 straight or 4 straight top 30s, like, that's significant because that means his irons and his putter are getting hot. And we know he always drives the ball straight. That's the one thing Grillo is always going to do. And that's a pretty big advantage here. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, love Grillo this week.
Yeah, just again, just an easy click at the number. Like I said, one of my DFS anchors as well, a guy that is going to be in probably 40 to 50% of my lineups. So no surprise there. And then we got one more outright play this week. Former winner.
You didn't have that on the list you sent me, and I was like, well, I got to talk about his finishing place odds if you're not going to talk about him.
So I knew I wasn't going to do it, and then I was like, I got to do it. This is a former winner that Keith wants to talk about. So I'm going to let Keith, you take it away here, King. This one's
this is just one of those betting opportunities that you just don't see, and I don't get it. Like, yes, he is an extremely up and down golfer. He has been most of his career. Got a ton of talent, though, like unbelievable talent. He is 55 to 1 to top 5 at a venue that he's won at. And by the way, he hadn't finished worse than like 22nd in his 5 starts here. His top 10 odds, because it's like, man, I'm going to have to bet them all. 25 to 1. And he is, what is it for the is it 8 or 9? Now I've lost it, but he's either 8 or 9 to 1 to top 20. Why would you not, in a field like this, give Champ a chance? Like, there are horses for courses. There's a reason that we always check how players play certain venues. And Champ, this is the best venue of his career. I mean, 3M results, 28th last year. And again, this is after he's long not been a solid PGA player. Like this 2025, 24, 12th, 22, 16th, and then he won in 2021. That is a guy likes a golf course. And again, you're getting 25 to 1 and 55 to 1 for top 5 and top 10. That'll make, I mean, that's more than most outrights this season you could get. And again, he has a win, 2 other top 20s, and even his worst finish, sorry, it wasn't 22nd, it's 28th. Come on, Cam, man, make it a big year, because I'm going to just go ahead and do them all. And boy, if he somehow won the event at 350 to 1, and then you also at the 55, and then like, man.
Yeah, you can get 11 to 1 on FanDuel for him to top 20. DraftKings giving you plus money if you think he can make the cut, which he can. He's done it plenty of times here.
Last 4 times.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's not the sexiest thing to do. It's just bet, a couple units on Cam Champ to make the cut, but it's plus money. I like taking that shot there. So certainly nothing to shake a stick at. And
9 strokes on the green. Go look up his career putting stats. And this dude gained 9 strokes on the field the year he won. Unbelievable.
Yeah, just it goes to show you, if you can just get hot with the driver and get hot with the putter, especially. Like, this is a guy who hits it a mile. He don't know where it's going.
No idea.
This driver and the ball don't know where it's going. When they make contact, they say goodbye and see each other later.
But he gets streaky with it. So, like, when he's on with the driver, of course, fits his eyes, one of the pros' favorite sayings. He finds venues like this that even when, like, go look at his results last year, and he finished 28th. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure it was going to be miscut last year, 45th, 2024. And then, like, you get into all of his good results. No, he had good results the last 2 years at this place.
Yeah. He's got some game, that is for sure. And speaking of a fun game, before we fully get out of here tonight,
how did you finish last week, bro? I didn't even ask you. I know you were killing it.
That's a great segue. And I'll tell you, after this quick segment from our sponsors over at FantasySpin.
Spin, pick, win.
So what Keith was asking me about was my performance over on FantasySpin. And
remarkable.
I, going into Saturday, had the first and second place teams in the main event. Would have been about a $450 win. I did not end up getting first place in the event. My best lineup finished third. I had another lineup in the money, so still a very solid week overall.
Profitable.
And there's probably some of you here who are asking, what is FantasySpin? And I'll tell you, because I've been enjoying it for quite some time. Ever since they came on board with the show, we've been having a lot of fun with it as a team over here. So let me go ahead and get this ready, and we will show you guys what Fantasy Spin is. So let me share my screen here.
Let's go.
And you get to see the beauty that is
I
Fantasy
just can't
Spin.
wait for you to lock Cam Champ into this lineup.
Hey, I might. We gonna see what happens. So, Fantasy Spin, for those of you who don't know, it's a gamified DFS experience. So it's very similar to playing DFS with some of the allure of like playing a slot machine. You get the rolls, the spins, the music, the noises, the explosions. You get everything, all of the fun with that. But a lot of it is just building a lineup just like you would in a standard week of DFS. So, gonna spin the main event here. So I get 4 players that I can lock in.
But if you're like me and make the wrong decisions at all time, you're leaving it up to the fantasy gods. How is that not fun? I mean, you still control it, but
right,
you're kind of letting the gods decide. I love this. This is like, see, I can't wait for football season.
Yeah, and they have every sport too, so it's certainly one that you can get in
hello.
on regardless.
Right off the
And,
bat, there's a good roll.
Kurt Kitayama right off the rip. So as you guys saw, able to lock in him, and he's in my lineup. I can unlock him at some point if I want to. If I were to get some, I'm not going to.
Not in this field.
Yeah, not going to this week. But you can unlock him later on as well. Let's see what else. What do we get here? Nothing crazy.
I did really like Hardy's profile this week. Believe it or not, he was on my DFS bargain place.
I don't hate it. It's a little early for it, so
we're
no,
gonna
for
sure.
Hold off for now.
No. I just wanted to mention that because we didn't get to talk about it.
Another spin that I don't really love.
Gross. Yeah.
So we're just gonna.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. There he is. I have to do it. You called it.
Window.
And you got Jake Knapp too. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This is team full send too.
This is team full send.
Corey Connors too, man. Holy crap.
I don't hate Connors.
2-1 to top 20. I love that in this field.
That's some good number. But yeah, with the rest of these, like I have 6 spins left.
You have left?
6 spins. So I'm gonna let it roll a little bit.
I like Connors, but I would have let it ride.
I don't like this spin at all, so we're just not even gonna talk about it.
Where's the Scheffler? Come on, throw him out there.
Look at that. I got 3 top 20 players on 1 spin.
I mean,
I think
you can unlock Cam Champ. I'm not going to peer pressure you into playing him, dude. Go ahead.
All right. We'll unlock him, and then we're gonna. But I don't hate just locking this lineup here, and that's what I do.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm doing
second option was like, this is fun, and if you get to where you feel tomorrow that you know what, I don't feel so good about the lineup, he can finish it out, which that is really cool. I didn't know that once you locked it in.
Yep. So this lineup is entered into the event, but see that edit lineup button there on the bottom left side of the screen? I click on that. I can go use the rest of my spins if I want. Another thing that I like about Fantasy Spin is, as you see here, it's got the projections for each of the players that are in my lineup this week. If Jake Knapp withdraws from this tournament and he's already locked in my lineup, though, his 82.5 point projection, I get it. I don't have to worry about it.
That's what I'm like, kind of rooting for any guy that's questionable. If their like projected points are good, it's like, hey, go ahead, take the week.
Yeah,
off,
take the
man.
shot on it. And you don't get that at other places, but you guys see Fantasy Spin. I've been playing on it all year. I've had a very, very fun year using it, and I will definitely be continuing to use it. Oh yeah. I've 3 main event wins. No big deal.
Amazing. I'm serious. This kid, dude, he's killing it.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Not
and
jealous.
Not at all. But like I said, guys, they are sponsors of the podcast. So make sure to check out Fantasy Spin in the App Store for your respective devices. And when you sign up, use code IBT Golf and deposit at least $10 and play 1 tournament. You'll get $38 in free play. It supports the podcast. It supports the guys over at Fantasy Spin, who are a lot of guys that Keith and I have known for years. A lot of guys who came from the fantasy football space. So a lot of overlap there. So really enjoy using that product. So again, link in the episode description or check it out on the App Store, and the code is IBT Golf. But with that being said, Keith, it is the sad time in the show where we are going to say goodbye to the people. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. It is always a pleasure getting to speak with you guys every single week. For Keith Flemming, I'm Jake Parry, and we will see you all at our next tee time.